Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another pre-recorded lesson video. Today's date is Monday, November 30th. We're almost to December. I know, Thanksgiving break is over. It's going to be tough coming back to school, but I promise everything will be all right. We just have, I think, a little under 3 weeks into winter break, so you just gotta put our heads down and just push through and try our hardest until then, okay? Because we only have 3 weeks until these 9 weeks are over, and then progress reports go out. So we need to try our hardest to finish strong, okay? So a couple announcements before we start is the last major grade that actually not the last major grade, but one of the major grades that we're going to do in these last 3 weeks is a essay that we're going to write. Okay, and I've been talking about this essay for quite a bit, but we're finally going to be introducing it this week. The essay is going to be basically about Paul's transformation in the book and how war has affected him, especially mentally and psychologically, right? I'm going to introduce that essay this week, and we're going to get started writing it. Okay, so y'all are going to have a lot of time to get this done, and it's not going to be like the last 9 weeks where I only gave y'all a couple days for that poem portfolio. You're going to have a lot of time to get this essay done. Okay, so progress reports are going to go out this week. Grades are finalized, I think, that Friday before Thanksgiving break. There are a lot of failing grades. It's because I'm not inputting 70s for missing assignments. Now, if you've done the major assessments, we know what virtual is like. Y'all did it the first 9 weeks. So I'm expecting y'all to finish up all the assignments and the assessments. If you need help or you're struggling with them, just let me know, right? Both the assessments are open. A lot of y'all still have not done either both or just one of them. Just get those done. If you need a list of the assignments or the assessments that you're missing, just let me know and I'll send you that list. I don't want anyone to fail this class. So I just need y'all to finish up the assignments and the assessments. I'm trying to make the assignments as easy as possible, right? The assessment grades are good. It's just a lot of y'all still haven't done it yet. So get those done. If you need help, just let me know, okay? But moving on, the next slide is great job so far. If your name is on this slide, that means you are doing a great job of turning in the assignments and that you're absolutely killing the assessments that we're doing, right? Y'all are doing great job so far. Keep it up. If you don't see your name on this, that means we have a little bit more work to do, but I 100% believe that everyone in this class can pass, but more, not just pass, but have a great grade in here, okay? Because I am very flexible with the due dates. So if you just turn them in, I will accept them for the full grade, right? So just finish up your assignments and your assessments. And again, if you need help with them, I'm here. It is my job to help y'all out. It's my job to make sure y'all are understanding the topics and being understanding what the assignments are asking you to do. So if you need help, just let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help out, okay? But again, if your name is on the slide, absolutely fantastic job. Keep it up, okay? Proud of y'all. I'm actually proud of everyone. It's just, some of y'all just had to get the assignments and the assessments turned in, okay? But what we're going to be going over today is academic tone and language. The writing assignments I've been giving y'all so far, I absolutely love. It's just the tone that y'all are using in it are very casual, conversational tones, and I love that for very fictional writing. But the essay that we're going to be doing isn't a fictional work. It is basically a expository essay or explanatory essay, and that's basically you analyzing a topic and pulling evidence for it, right? It is basically a sort of like a research paper. A couple of y'all have probably done that already in like a science class or something like that, or a history class. So for those type of essays, you're going to be using a academic tone or academic language, right? And we're going to be going over what that is in today's lesson, okay? So why is academic language important? Is because a lot of your papers in the future will be using academic tone/language, right? So science papers, research papers, history papers, and a lot of your papers in English will be like that. You won't have to use academic language if you're writing like a fictional story, right? If we're having like a creative writing, This academic tone won't matter that much, but academic language slash tone is very important in those type of papers. It's also very important in discussions that we do in class, right? If we're having discussions in class, well, we're expecting academic language in the classroom, okay? And we're going to be going over what constitutes or what is a part of academic language, right? And, what you can or cannot have in papers or in your discussions, okay? So what is it? It is a formal tone used in your paper instead of the conversational tone that a lot of y'all use, right? And it is known, y'all may have heard scholarly is very scholarly language, as in it is school appropriate. It is meant for the classroom, right? But I like again though, I do love the conversational tone that y'all use in like creative writing. I think it's very free. I think it's very creative. So I don't want y'all to get completely rid of that in your creative writing, but in these formal papers, we are going to have to use academic language, okay? So in academic language, for your papers or discussions, you're going to be avoiding these lists I'm about to show you. So you're going to avoid slang terms. Slang terms are basically text talk. Like a lot of y'all put LOL, some of y'all put IDK, like those abbreviations, right? You can't have that in an academic language or in your discussions that we have in class, things like that, okay? Like the short answer questions I give y'all as assignments, a lot of y'all put in there or IDK, LOL. Some of y'all have put emojis in there. Like we can't have that in those type of papers or those type of questions, right? We can't have that in a classroom setting. Other ones are colloquialisms. Y'all have probably not heard of this word, but y'all know the what constitutes colloquialisms. And I just had an example of that right there. Examples of colloquialisms are words that aren't really words, right? But we say them in everyday language, so we think they're words. So it's ain't, gonna, I'ma is a really big one that y'all do. Wanna, right? Y'all. I say y'all in everyday language, but that's not actually a word that you're going to be using in a paper, okay? Whenever we're talking, we're from Texas, right? So it just comes out naturally. But whenever you're writing, you can't have y'all in there, okay? Gotta or kinda. So good examples are these is gonna, you're going to say you can't do that. Wanna, you can't do that as well. For gonna, you could do got to, or wanna, you could do want to. Y'all would be you all. I'ma would be I am or I'm, right? Instead of I'ma, I see I'ma a lot. Ain't or not, right? Gotta, got to, kinda, kind of, right? Colloquialisms, they're not actually words, and we can't have this in academic papers. I know we're very used to these type of words, but we're going to have to work to get rid of that from our writing, okay? And contractions. We cannot have contractions in an academic paper, so don't, haven't, shouldn't, would have. Y'all know the contractions right now. You would just have to break them up whenever you're writing. So it would be do not, have not, should not, would have, right? Try if you go through your paper and you see contractions, just go through and break them up, and they'll be perfectly fine. I think those are pretty easy to not do. I think colloquialisms is where y'all are going to have a harder time, okay? Exaggerations are hyperbole. So we can't exaggerate. We need to be very specific in our word choice. So examples of exaggeration or hyperbole would be he's running as fast as the wind. This bag weighs a ton, right? You're exaggerating certain things in an academic paper, especially the essay that we're going to be writing. We need to be very specific in our word choice and make sure that we're just stating facts, which leads us into generalizations. Generalizations are just you basically having a general statement, okay? We need to be, again, specific. So example of a generalization is all parents make children's lives difficult. So you're generalizing that every single parent out there in the world is making their child's life difficult, right? That's a generalization. You're giving that trait to every single parent out there whenever it could just be a handful of parents, right? Those are generalizations. We can't have that. We have to be very specific in our word choice, okay? And the last one is we can't have personal pronouns or we can't invoke the reader emotionally, right? Personal pronouns, that's going to be the biggest one. It's going to be I, our, we, you. We can't put ourselves into that paper, okay? Sometimes you can do I, as in, maybe like I will write about something like that. You could do that from time to time, but we have to avoid personal pronouns as much as possible. Okay. And I'm going to give y'all examples of what you shouldn't write in a academic paper and how you could change it. Okay. So what you should be doing in an academic paper is you should have facts and figures, right? We're going to be pulling evidence, and what we're going to do is we're going to have to pull facts and figures to help support our point of view. We're going to let the sources speak, right? We're going to have sources in an academic paper. The source that we're going to be pulling today or in the essay is from the book, right? So we're going to let the book and Paul speak. Okay, it needs to be unbiased. You can't have a stance in an academic paper. It needs to be very specific and direct. We've been working on very specific word choices. So hopefully y'all are focusing on this. Specific and direct basically just means don't use exaggerations and don't generalize, right? Don't have general statements. So examples of do and do nots. So do not, this is a sentence of what you should not do, is plastic waste is now clogging the oceans, choking the life out of sea creatures, and threatening to end all ocean life as we know it. What is wrong with that sentence is that it's a generalization, right? That you're exaggerating as well. You're saying plastic waste is now clogging the oceans, choking the life out of sea creatures. You're exaggerating exactly what plastic waste is doing, so you should be more specific. So you should change that sentence to, according to the Plastic Oceans Foundation, humans have dumped more than 8 million tons of plastic into ocean water each year for several years in a row. Okay? So that's basically finding a source and having the facts and the figures speak for it instead of you making a general statement or exaggerating, right? Now the reader specifically knows what your source is and how much plastic waste has been dumped, right? Instead of just saying it's clogging the oceans, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Moving on to another example is do not have this sentence: in the wake of the 2008 financial collapse, our nation experienced a crisis which our government addressed. Hopefully y'all are sort of seeing the error in that sentence. The error in that one is the personal pronoun, right? The our nation. So how you should change that is, in the wake of the 2008 financial collapse, the United States experienced a crisis which the government addressed. So you were changing our nation to the United States. We're changing our government just to the government, right? We can't have personal pronouns, right? We need to basically write in like a third person point of view, essentially. And examples, another example is do not do this. Anna got tickets to that concert Friday night. That one is an example of sort of not being very specific, sort of like a colloquialism. What you should change that sentence is Anna bought tickets to attend that concert Friday night. Instead of saying got tickets, you just say bought, right? So hopefully that sort of made sense. I'm not expecting the essays to be perfect the first time around. That's why what we're going to be doing is we're going to be revising a lot, okay? But academic language is what you're going to be using on your last essay, right? And it's going to be what you're going to be using on a lot of papers going forward. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you know what to avoid. For that last essay, I will be giving you a checklist of things you should avoid and things that you should have. So if you check off all the things, then you should be perfectly fine and you should be making an A on that essay. But again, if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, let me know. And turn in your assignments and your assessments. Remember, if you need a list of assignments or assessments that you're missing, just let me know and I'll send that over to you. But other than that, that is it for this lesson. And I will see you here for the next one. Bye.